Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you got me?
Yeah, I got you. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, yeah. Let me get some water real quick. I'll be right back. Like 10
Alrighty.
seconds. What's
Ah,
going on?
someone got to get the head out. Okay, I hear you. I see you. I'm gonna record this one for this time. I
Yeah.
think I think sometimes it's better. We get like better. It doesn't stream real well on the on YouTube. So yeah, we'll figure all that part out. I also need to get the streaming on multiple platform stuff down. I'll try to hone that in finally this weekend. But what up? How's it going? A little bit later today. We didn't. Yeah, it's been a good, nice first week. Yeah,
Yep.
I was doing I was trying to do a yoga and handstand workout class right before.
Yoga. Huh?
Yeah, yeah, yoga. Actually, I am. I mean,
Okay.
I sit in the seat and I try to stand up all day. It's so funny because I thought like yoga, if you're like a dude, like just working in the gym, it's all about just working, just build muscles, bench, whatever. But it's so important to have that mobility, right?
That is true. The
It's
flexibility for
like,
sure.
yeah, and it really helps you as you get older, right? The older you get,
Yes.
the more important that is, right? Like when I get up now, a lot of times now, I don't like grunt. I'm like getting up as much as I used to, right? Because that's the sign of an old man right there,
Okay.
just like trying to get up, right?
Is that the sound you make when you get up?
That's a little bit of exaggeration, a little bit of hyperbole. Uh,
Uh-oh.
I lost you on video.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Um, all right. So we are live. I don't think we did any promotion for this.
Nope.
It's fine. It's just one of
Happens
those days,
sometimes,
man.
man.
It's
No,
just one
today
of
was
those.
one of those days like I almost just like let's skip this week. I was real close.
I hear you. I
I was
kind of
real
felt the
close.
same way. I kind of felt the same way going into this one too. It was like, let's get out here and let's
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's been a week. It's been a year, right? I think we've been doing this for more than a year, right?
And when you start
Yeah,
something and then you turn around and look back where you started and where you are, it's like,
yeah. And
yeah,
I
I can't
think there's
believe it,
still
man.
potential. We still got a little ways to go. We got to kind of figure some things out.
Yeah,
Um,
we're getting there.
but but I mean, surely we'll have to figure it out. But that's cool. So again, welcome to the Targeted Podcast. I am Sahid. That is Nicholas. Let us get started. You know what today is, Nicholas?
1 year since the idiots.
Yeah, 1 year with a bunch of angry, let's just say it, a bunch of angry Trump white people and like maybe like one black dude charges the
I mean,
Capitol.
I'm not even gonna say, I'm not gonna just say like it was
Well, no,
all
I
just
will
one
say it
group of
like that
people.
because it was a
I'm
bunch
just
of
gonna
black people that
say
did it. They would have been shot. Like that would have never happened if it was a bunch of black people. So I will freaking
we
say
know
it.
that. We
Right?
know that. We
I will
know that.
say that.
That
Right?
is true. That is true.
I will say it was an angry bunch of white people that did it. Not to disseminate against like white people, obviously, but let's face it, if there's any other color, shot on sight, right? I mean, and this is after a year after, like, I mean, months after the George Floyd protests, and people were just like bashing the protesters for like rioting and whatnot. And here comes like the the ultimate version of that, like you trying to riot while most of the government, a third of the government is in session, right?
Yeah.
Um, right. Like while they
Yeah.
were trying to certify the election, that's when you chose to like charge in. Like that's a terrorist attack. That's a coup attempt, right? And
Yeah.
um, I heard President. So when we were deciding we were going on today, I made sure I watched President Biden's speech, and
So hold on before, because I feel like you're gonna steal my line, and I want to make
okay,
sure I
go
say it
for
and
it.
you don't.
Go for it.
Make sure you say it and you don't. Right?
Don't steal my thunder.
Exactly.
No, go
Because
for it,
I
man.
did not watch the entire speech,
Okay.
but I read about it. Right.
Okay.
I got kids are out of daycare right now, so don't have time for that. You know what I'm saying? So I have to read. But again, let's rewind a little bit. I mean, we got to make sure that the platform is about growth, right? So I'm not just going to say a bunch of angry white people. I'm just going to say a bunch of people. I'm just going to say it was an angry mob. I don't know who was in there, right? I
We
know
saw who was in there.
I
We
know
saw
who
who
made
was
it
in there.
inside. I don't know who was in there. I don't know. I just say it was an angry mob. I'm not going to do that, right? But in Biden's speech, though, I really love what he said in his speech. And the one line that I saw, the one great quote that I saw, is that he was saying, you can't only love your country when you win. Right? I thought that was huge for him to say that, because when you think about it, minorities been losing for a long, 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 long time, right?
Yeah.
Black people have been losing in this country for a long time.
Small
what I mean?
wins. Small wins, but a lot of step backs, right?
For every win, it's been a step back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for him to say something like that really resonated with me. Every once in a while, people say something and makes you hope that perhaps they get it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? So I think that was a huge line right there. And I think that's something that's going to become repeated, iconic. That's going to be said like over and over again, because it's something that people need to hear and understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it goes, those people that were part of the insurrection, that participated in that, they need to understand that line, like that you've been winning, we get it, but you lost. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right. It's a wrap. It's a wrap for 4 years. I mean, we had to sit back and vote for people and watch them put laws into place to help us get to prison and, get charged higher, with higher fines, higher years in jail for forever. Right. So it's about time that, we feel like we win by getting someone out of office that clearly only had his own best interest in mind anyway. Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no. Well, his quote was, and this is on his Instagram, you can't love your country only when you win. You can't obey the law only when it's convenient. And the best part of this one, you can't be patriotic when you embrace or enable lies. Right? That was kind of it for me. I have no problem saying it was a bunch of angry white people, because that's what it was. I saw the Confederate flag hanging, like flying around. You saw nooses hanging around, right? You saw the best one, the thin blue line flag, right? Which is supposed to be for like Blue Lives Matter, standing for like police, being very pro police, and you attacking Capitol Police officers, like it just shows that they're full of shit, right? They're full. I mean, let's just be honest. They're full of shit. Every time I see a thin blue line like flag, I like automatically unfriend. Automatically, like, yeah, we ain't cool, right? To me, that's the new Confederate flag. Now, mind you, the history of thin blue line.
It's the thin blue line, because they were also doing like the Punisher symbol too. So
yeah,
what is like? I feel like I haven't even seen that. Maybe I'm just not in touch.
I haven't seen. I think there was a group that did the Punisher sign, but kind of talking about the thin blue line for a second though, that history has happened for over 100 years, right? I won't like go too much into the history of the thin blue line, but it was over 100 years.
No, I mean, if you have the history, go into it.
Yeah, no, I don't have the history. Like, I didn't take notes for today, right? So if I took notes for today, I would have given you like the straight like history. But I'll give you just off the top of my head, over 100 years ago, that's kind of where it started. And then the whole Blue Lives Matter movement actually started in 2014, right? When police officers were shot, right? And then it became kind of this alt-right movement or the alt-right sign, right? For the Charlottesville um, like protests, right? So Charlottesville happened in Virginia a couple years ago, right? When alt-right decided to hold a protest. And that's when President Trump was like, they're good on both sides, right? Um, that BS. And
Don't get me
like
started on that.
they found on the forums, right, what signs are good to fly, right? What flags are good to fly, right? American flag, Confederate flag, thin blue line flag, right? So the
What is it?
reason
Just a thin blue line? That's it.
the
Like
thin blue
I
line
haven't seen
flag,
it.
oh yeah, you see the thin blue line flag. It's the American, it's the black and white American flag with a thin blue line
Mm.
to it, right? So we might have to do a whole episode on that. I'm gonna search it right quick. Um,
I have to do an
and I
episode on
hope.
like symbolism too, man.
Oh
Because
yeah. Oh, so there's bro. I watched. So I love watching documentaries, and I just Google this up. I just Googled this, and hopefully Google doesn't think like I'm into this nonsense.
uh-oh,
But,
uh-oh,
like,
the government then
like,
flagged your system.
but this is the this is the thin blue line right here, right?
Mm.
Normally this. So ideally, it's supposed to symbolize for police officers. There are other ones with other lines. So the thin red line is for like firefighters. Thin purple lines for uh other members of like the military. So there's a lot. There's a lot into that, right? So that's kind of been shown as the flag of like pro police, right? The thin blue line, right? Um, and the ideology, it was just normally just a thin line, right? It was not, they didn't like redesign it to like the American flag, right? Um, but the problem with that is that it was hijacked for kind of the anti-Black Lives movement. So it's almost like saying, well, Black Lives Matter. No, all lives matter, right? It's kind of they kind of make hide behind the words of all lives being a good thing, but you're kind of just subverting what Black Lives Matter means, right? And so
Right.
they're kind of using that again with like the thin blue line. Um, and but what's frustrating about that is that the people who kind of wear that flag and kind of fly it, they don't talk against, or you don't hear them talk against like white supremacy at all. Like you should be livid, right? That you saw a thin blue line flag flying during an insurrection, right? I mean, it kind of shows the hypocrisy that's there, right?
Yeah.
So it's, and of course it's a Confederate flag because of course there is, right? And yeah, we can definitely do like a whole episode on symbolism just in general. I
Yeah,
invite you
man.
to
I might have to
watch.
do that.
Yeah, there's a episode. It's called I love like documentaries. So the Netflix Explained, right, documentary. Um, it's the company's called Vox, but they do this on Netflix, right? And he talks about symbolism and flags and tribalism and all that stuff. And this kind of came up, the thin blue line one and the American flag one. Um, and it was the only time where I saw a guy who started the thin blue line movement in New York, right? And he was the only time I've ever heard someone who was a representative of that movement talk down on white supremacy. Only time, which is sad, right?
Hmm.
But I see that, I'm like, yeah, we ain't cool because I mean you're just hiding your bullshit behind like
Oh yeah.
the police, obviously. But you're talking earlier about like you can't just love your country when you win only, and how black people have been like losing, or just we've been losing for a long time. I remember like when Trump first won uh years ago, how just shitty, really shitty I felt, right? And I actually went on a date, right, a couple of days afterwards. And I was meeting, and I was talking to the young lady who, amazing person by the way, very smart and just an awesome, amazing person.
Just in case she's listening.
Just in case she's listening.
I love it. Oh, she was great. Probably the worst date of all time. You're
such a great wingman, Nicholas. Yeah, being positive. Nicholas then just dumped the cold water on me right there. No, but like we were supposed to go out over the weekend, but we were like, no, let's go out like to Thursday because we just need to just get some air because this sucks, right? So we went to like a hookah place and just like aired our grievances of like what might the next 4 years might become, and it sucked. The next 4 years kind of sucked, right? It was almost every other day. Like this guy said some shit on Twitter and a bunch of idiots kind of. It was like,
yeah, I mean, it was like it was just like what I got tired of was like you didn't really hear about like what his policies so much were, right? No. It was just more like about him.
Yeah,
he dominated the headlines. It wasn't about like something that he did. It was just like some BS, like you said, like that he put on Twitter or something that he said. You didn't really get a sense of like what he was trying to do. But based off what he's saying on Twitter, I mean, this dude is a horrible, self-absorbed person or whatever.
Yeah,
so, that was really the issue for me. Like throughout that time, it was just like I know what you're doing from what you're saying on Twitter. I mean, you sound like you're not fit for the job, pretty much, right?
Yeah. Well,
you didn't really get a sense of what he was trying to do aside from the wall.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, going back to like that moment of like when like Hillary Clinton lost and just kind of how I felt and kind of how I coped, right? It's like me going out, airing out my grievances, kind of talking to like-minded people and whatnot, right? I didn't go charge the freaking Capitol, right? Like, and every time we kind of talk about extremism, right, in this country, white supremacy, or just extremism in general, right? The other side or someone always wants to try to balance it out by saying, oh, what about Black extremists? What about Antifa? What about this? What about that, right? And I was reading like a post that I posted last year, and my teacher, who I ended up eventually unfriending and blocking because he was just being a troll, was trying to kind of bounce back and was like, well, I mean, there's bad on both sides. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Is both sides attacking the Capitol right now? Right? I mean, when Benghazi happened, did we talk about both sides? Right? No, you guys went for blood and went after freaking Hillary Clinton for that, right? You have a bone to pick for her. So, and you guys can't hold that same level of accountability towards President Trump, which is doomed to repeat itself, right? I mean, what if President Trump was smarter? Right?
Well, I won't say that. I mean, the dude clearly has a high level of intelligence.
I don't think so. I disagree. I think he's been faking it so he makes it. And
no, there's different types of intelligence too, though. I mean, he might not be the most scholarly person, but when it comes to, I think understanding people and how they think.
No, I think it's reaching out to. I think it's reaching out to a certain group of people, right? Because
that's what I'm saying. He understands.
I think intelligence to me is about changing strategies, right? And he never changes strategies, right? He does the same thing. Everything he does, it doubles down, right? That's all he's about, right? And then lets other people fight for him. So his whole thing is just having this big persona, right? Like I'm this rich, super rich, well-off, very powerful person. Just people like just kind of going up and trying to kiss the ring to him, right? And that's how he's gotten off for so many years, and he still kind of gets away with it with some of these people who still follow him. So
he comes from money.
Sorry, I'm not giving the intelligence card. I'm just not.
I think I have to. Yeah, I disagree with that. Like I said, it's different types of intelligence. You know, he came up with a strategy based on what he knew, what he was good at, and that strategy got him elected.
Well, I mean, he came out with a strategy that was done before, right?
It
Nixon
doesn't
did the
matter.
same strategy way back when. But
I mean, hey,
yeah, I mean,
you
have you?
employ that. You go out and employ that same strategy right now and go run and go and get yourself elected for president. It's
There's
not,
no
it's
way
not going. It's not that
there's
cut
no
and
way
dry.
as an African American, Black, Nigerian, Muslim can employ that strategy and go anywhere in life, right? I mean, not happening. So that's kind of why I'm
I'm just
not
saying. I'm just saying.
giving him that. I mean,
But
think. I mean, if privilege was a picture, it should be his face.
I'll give you that.
I
I'll give
mean,
you that.
if
But
privilege is a
okay,
picture, it should be
so
his face.
let's get back to the insurrection piece, all right?
Yeah. I mean, let's get
So
back to the inspection of the
it's
cause of it, though, right? Because one thing I didn't finish on was that how we coped with it, right? And like I said, I remember saying this last year too when I used to live in Louisiana. I was at a table with some former coworkers, and they had the same mentality of kind of, oh, we got to take our guns and like retake the government again, right? This was more than 10 years ago, right? And when I saw it on TV, I was like, this is what they were waiting for. Was exactly what they're waiting for, someone to legitimize their bullshit.
yeah.
And they've been wanting to do this shit for years. And if we don't come down hard on this, which we're not, but if we don't, we're just prone to let it happen again. There are a lot of people.
There's still a lot going on with this investigation, though.
There
They call it
is
the long arm of the law for a reason. I think, it's sad that it's taken so much time or whatever, but something's about to happen. I feel like, and Trump was about to make a speech on the anniversary too. He had to cancel it.
He had to cancel,
which I'm glad because that would not be a good idea.
Well, two of his little flunkies that's in Congress, Marguerite Taylor Greene and douchebag from Florida, decided to do a speech as well. So it. By the way, dude from Florida, my friend told me I shouldn't forget names, but I don't feel like remembering his name, and I don't feel like looking it up right now. But he's in trouble for sex trafficking, right? And for actual sex trafficking, a minor, right? So paying a minor, so sex trafficking in this case is paying someone under the age of 18 to have him travel. So paying someone to come over to you to travel to have sex with them, right? So he's been under investigation for that. Now these QAnon people, the people that help like push this like insurrection, right? They're all about like kind of going against the pedophiles. They say Democrats is the party of pedophiles that secretly run like pedophile rings, and like here you are, this guy who helps peddle this bullshit, actual pedophile, and they're like, silence, crickets, whatever. Yeah. It's just nuts and just frustrating.
I'm still watching the headlines, man. I want to see more. I feel like I think a year later, I'm not really satisfied with the fallout, right? Like, obviously, after it happened, there was an uproar about it, right? A lot of people talking about how bad it was. It's horrible. You had some arrests, some punishments were kind of light, some were, a little more fitting, but it wasn't like, I don't know. I feel like it, like what was the impact, right? So you had some arrests.
Largest
arrest I feel like I didn't really hear too much about like how they're changing the security. Maybe something I need to go and read and look up more of, right? Didn't really hear too more about like how they might change security in the Capitol building. I feel like I feel like there would have been some faster movement on some sort of law or act or something put in place for something like this in the future. There wasn't really anything about like election reform. There was election reform, but like the wrong laws got put in place, right?
Yeah.
We did an episode on that where it seemed like as a result of the election and the insurrection and everything, now you have tighter laws on the election and restricting people from voting. So I would have thought that it would have possibly gone the other way. But now they're just kind of, like you said, just double down on the same principles of restricting people's rights to vote, making it harder. So I'm a little disappointed as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, so a couple of people I'm looking at their arrest list right now. They said about 2,000 people took place in the insurrection. I don't know. I think about 100 people may have been charged. I'm not entirely sure. I have to look closely at the kind of this report here. But the largest sentences have been 41 months, right? The shirtless guy, the QAnon shaman, that guy, he's super popular and infamous for parading around shirtless with a face mask, whatever, right? 41 months, right? And I think to your point, right? President Trump should have been, he was impeached. He wasn't removed from office, right? He still benefits from being a former executive.
They were afraid that they were afraid to vote against this dude, which is crazy.
Yeah, which is sad. Which is just
how much
sad.
sway he has in the party.
Which is it really shows and what's funny they talk about the millennials and liberals that they're the ones that start cancel culture, right? or whatnot, right? But you're afraid to go against this guy because you're afraid your own party is going to cancel against you, right? That's the fact of the matter, right? So it's extremely frustrating to see. You're right. They're still investigating now. Bipartisan investigation. The House is investigating. Who knows how long that will last? Because let's face it, this year's an election year, right?
Yep.
Almost every year, right? I'm reading President Obama's book, and he's going through kind of his time as president. Every year, the incoming president normally loses the midterms, right? And this is probably going to follow suit again with COVID and
absolutely
everything, right?
Yes.
It's going to be less of an election turnout, right? And Republicans might take the House again, and only God knows what's going to happen.
They're going to block everything he tries to do. And then say he was ineffective.
Yeah, of course. That's the goal. That's the goal, right? That's what they tried to do with Obama, right? Where they wanted him to try to make him to be a one-term president. Mitch McConnell, right, says his first primary job when Obama was elected was making him being a one-term president. Didn't work, obviously, but more importantly, I think what's going to happen with this investigation, right? Once conservatives take the House. So it's just frustrating. I don't know how much more I want to talk about this without punching my monitor right now. So
I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, a year later, I'm not really satisfied with the fallout.
Yeah.
All I really read about is, there's still investigations. There's still the January 6th, January 6th committee doing their stuff. Yeah. I know the Trump organization is under investigation.
Yeah.
And some of his allies, I guess, are under investigations. I mean, it's stuff is happening, but for the normal, regular person, I mean, if I did a quarter of any of this stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
me under the jail. So I mean,
exactly. That's why I'm not afraid to say at this point, a bunch of angry white people. Because if it was anybody else,
what I'm still afraid of too. This is the other thing I'm afraid of. Okay, we talk about the midterms, right? We already know that the Republicans are probably going to take back Congress.
Yeah.
What I'm afraid of now is what I'm afraid of is the next presidential election, right? Let's say, and there's a couple ways that it can play out. One way is that somehow Trump isn't charged for anything. He comes out clean and runs again.
Yeah.
Right?
And they'll let him run again too. The Republican Party will let him run again.
Yes.
Because they're cowards.
So all that's going to do then is just increase that divide that was created during his time in office, right? This is a very dangerous time in the country right now anyway, because it's a huge divide between people. We're all either you're this or you're that. Like, what are you? Where do you stand? So it could play out like that. Then there's also, let's say the investigation continues. Somehow he isn't able to run, but he still has all that influence in the party. So they find a candidate, with similar views, but just a different face. Yeah. And let's say the election plays out. I feel like this time, unless the person wins by a landslide victory, nobody's going to claim that they lost, right? Nobody's going to accept defeat this time, right? That's the kind of scary part. There could be a repeat.
Yeah, no. I mean, again, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with a little bit a different face with the same values, right? So, someone who's more. This is why I will give Trump the genius card, someone who's more tactful. So
I didn't say he's a genius.
You said he's smart. You said he's intelligent.
He has there's a certain type of intelligence that man has.
I will give you a certain type of intelligence. Sure. Maybe he has a certain level of social intelligence, right? But to me, intelligence is your ability to adapt and adjust, which I have not seen him do, right? Because he doesn't have to, right? You kind of saw it play out this year with Glenn Youngkin being elected for governor, right? Now, I'm not definitely not trying to compare him to Trump or saying he's just like Trump at all. But he
found a way to tread that line.
He kind of toted that line, right? Toted that line just enough, right? And people were just upset all of the shutdowns, and not to mention they do what they always do: use critical race theory to anger certain people, right? To empower them to vote. That's what they do, right? That's what the whole critical race theory thing was about: just to anger the right sort of person, right? Yeah. To get them to vote, right? To bring them out to vote. They've done this time and time again, and it works. And it's frustrating. So that's. I don't know how much more I can talk about this.
All right. So let's. How many episodes of Boba Fett have you seen so far?
I have seen. There've been only 2, and I've seen.
Okay, let's make sure you've seen both of them.
Okay. Right. I haven't done any I usually have a bunch of notes on Star Wars or just any lore. I'm just kind of just go off the top of the dome. But what do you think of the first 2 episodes of Boba Fett?
Right now, I'm feeling like I felt with WandaVision.
I hear you.
Right.
It's very slow.
My God, what's the plot to this thing, man?
Yeah, what's the point? I mean, what they're doing.
I think it's cool that you look. I'm into the lore of Star Wars, right? I'm into it, right?
So sure you are.
So
nerd.
Nerd alert. But to see what they did with the story as far as how he survived and made it so far, I'm interested. I'm all for it. But now, but aside from the first 2 episodes have just been all flashback, all callback, really. This last episode, the whole thing, it was a wait.
It was the whole flashback. It was a whole flashback.
The whole thing with the train that took the entire whole episode.
Flashback. I actually liked the action scene in that episode, but no, you're absolutely right.
It was great.
The whole thing was a flashback, and I'm not into the lore as much as you are of this. I don't care about Boba Fett. I just don't. And
I think it's a hard sell because he died. And he died the way he should have died. He got ate by the monster.
Yeah, I just don't care that much. And I didn't watch Star Wars for Boba Fett. I just didn't. That being said, like The Mandalorian was interesting to me, and I like the idea that they're kind of bringing in new characters and kind of adding to that Star Wars genre.
But that's just it.
Yeah, I think one of the
new characters.
Yeah, new characters, and I think they're gonna get themselves in a little trouble a little bit. Is instead of kind of exploring, like say Ahsoka a little bit more, like she didn't get like she's gonna get her own series. I think that's gonna be pretty cool, right? Where they get to explore her a little bit more.
That's the one I'm waiting for.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, maybe. I guess a lot of people didn't feel like they didn't get enough of Luke Skywalker, so I wouldn't mind them exploring him a little bit more.
Freaking get Sebastian Stan and give us Luke Skywalker that an entire generation of Star Wars fans have been waiting for.
Yeah, they're doing Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? And again, he kind of had a story, right? He had a story, but they're still trying to add more to it. Yeah, I feel like they're trying to add more to it, and I'm sure Ewan McGregor's going to do great.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he did do great. He was one of like the few good things about the early series, but it's. I don't care enough about. I'm hopeful that it will be good.
I mean, they have to make you care, right? That's the job of the writers, storytellers, right? So I mean. Unless this thing does a 360 like WandaVision did, because I was about to slam the hell out of that until episode.
I remember talking you down on that too. I remember just stay with it.
Yeah, you had to tell me because I was like, this is bullshit.
A lot of people were like, what the F is going on here? But you stayed with it and it ended up being pretty good. I mean, I don't know about this one. I mean, I think this one's getting a lot of good ratings, which is good. But
I can see it being like the one thing that is kind of interesting is so you're learning more about the criminal underworld now, right?
Yeah, the Hutts.
So yeah, the Hutt family. You know, if you watched what was the animated Star Wars? You saw them in the Clone Wars. Yeah. I think you saw them in the Clone Wars, right? You saw some of that in the Clone Wars, and there was one other one where you saw it. So, I mean, Jabba the Hutt is dead. That's left a huge void. He's obviously trying to take the void, but then you have the twins, which I think are his kids, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody probably slay me in the comments for not knowing, but whatever.
But I hope we don't have a huge following tonight.
Right. But
I haven't been checking the comments at all, so I don't know.
Yeah.
What.
But I thought that was interesting. And then I think the best part about tonight's episode was the Black Wookiee. That dude had that was a bad mofo right there.
He looked like a badass.
I was like, okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, he looked like a badass. We'll see. What was that thing about waiting for permission to kill the Hutts? Right, you need permission to kill the Hutts.
Yeah, I mean that's the that's a family like that. I mean, just like
but who's protecting them? What permission from who are you getting permission to kill the Hutts for?
We'll find out. Maybe there's somebody who's with the higher ranking than the Hutts, right? Because as far as we know, the Hutts is that's it, right? Like everybody's like, oh, you one of the Hutts, okay. So I don't know. I don't know.
Very, very interesting.
So this is one thing too. I think my friend was texting me a few minutes before the episode, or texting the group a few minutes before the episode. What's up with the tank?
The tank,
right? Every night, this dude goes to sleep in that tank, right? And it's like, do you need it or not, right? Because he lasted all that time with the Tusken Raiders. No tank.
Good point. Right? That's a great point.
So the only thing that I've been able to come up with is
probably a plot hole that you discovered right there. I think it's a plot hole you discovered.
I'll give it to shout out to my man Joe. I'll give it to him. I'll give him credit for that because he brought it up. But I was trying to say that it looked like the tank. So being in the Sarlacc, like when he came out, I mean, he was all like pale and all this stuff, right? What I've seen with him being in the tank is that some of that stuff is starting to clear up.
Yeah, well, he's clearly that's being healed. But you're right. Is it for cosmetic reasons? Does he need to continuously be in the tank so long? And how is he
Yeah.
able to stay with the Tuscans for so long and be their prisoner, kill some like six-legged monster, which I don't remember, I don't know the name of that, right? Help the little Tuscan kid, help them with the train situation, all that time. You need the tank then, right? So
I'm
why
thinking
why
his
do it
cosmetic
now?
is something
So
to clear that up. Maybe he
yeah.
can survive, but to be at full health, maybe he needs that for a while. I don't know.
Or yeah, maybe he needs a tank to like to continuous like a continuous helping, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure. So that's a good point. Good point. Good point. Good talk.
Good
as
talk. Good talk.
as one of our colleagues would say. Yeah, no, that's what's up. Have you been watching? Well, what else? So I think we're both in agreement. Like, I think obviously you are on a different level of Star Wars fan than I am, but yeah, I don't really care that much right now. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, it is Star Wars. I am always marveled at how Disney is spending so much money on their set pieces. Um,
It looks
because
great.
I watched Cowboy Bebop, right? And not nearly the live action version, and not nearly as well, right? I didn't hate it. I thought I was gonna be like, man, this sucks.
Yeah, we
Like,
could talk about that.
yeah, we'll talk about that later. We don't have to talk about that now. But The Mandalorian is a space cowboy movie, essentially, right? If you think about it, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop is supposed to be a space cowboy movie, and the set pieces, like I was reading an article that's saying that how the set pieces were pretty good, and I'm like, compared to like what I'm seeing on Disney, like negative. That's a negative on that. Like if you're gonna do something as iconic as like Cowboy Bebop, you got to come with it, right? Which they didn't. We could talk about that. We can get into all that later, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how this one turns out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm curious to see how this kind of ties into like the greater Star Wars universe, right? It will be interesting to see him run into a Jedi, right? Because they did show a Jedi. I mean, a Jedi killed his dad, Jango Fett, right? And they showed that flashback a numerous times of him holding his helmet, right?
It did.
About that, right? So it makes me wonder if they will introduce a purple lightsaber wielding Jedi. That would be cool, right?
Or maybe he somehow finds Mace Windu's lightsaber.
Yeah, I
Yeah, you know,
mean, yeah, something along those lines. Like, or maybe they just run across a Jedi and he just gets super pissed or something. I don't know.
that
Like,
would be now.
whatever.
Hey,
Yeah.
I know it's not gonna happen. It would be
Yes. Probably not.
crazy.
It would be
Yeah.
great if Ahsoka like showed up and there was
No,
some beef.
I'm saying if somehow, because there are people theorizing about it, somehow they bring
Yeah.
back Mace Windu.
Yeah. I mean, they brought back Emperor Palpatine like 8 times, so why not make someone do? He's strong with the
I'll take
force.
the legends stories all day, except for the Vader comic book. Like that was actually
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. Um Oh my God. Yeah. No,
you
we'll
gotta give it some
see.
time. Gotta give it some
Yeah.
time. Right now, the
Give it some
first two
time.
episodes have been nothing but flashbacks. I get
Yeah.
it. You're still alive. You're trying to take over. Pay me my tribute. I'm wondering who. Now I am wondering who sent that assassin, right? Too, because the mayor denied it.
Well, it was
Um,
either the mayor or the Huts, right?
but that's. I'm thinking it might be whoever's above the huts. I
Well,
don't
I
know.
mean, I think it was they said the mayor, and I'm inclined to think the mayor did it.
I don't think
But
so.
he probably did it at the direction of someone else though, right? So, or maybe someone else paid those assassins and was like, yeah, this is for you. We're working for the mayor, right? So, remember his assistant was like, I won't be surprised if you saw another delegation that like shows up or whatever, right? After he like threatens him. So, and I guess that was
That's
the
nuts.
delegation. So,
Yeah.
well, the delegation could have been the assassins, right? But that's when remember when of that, right? So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's way too early to tell about that.
I'm not gonna lie. What I did think was funny was those two slugs being carried by those people through the city. I was like, I feel like they needed more people for
that. Yeah, or maybe they're strong. They didn't skip leg day.
They weren't. I don't think they were humans. So maybe they are. Maybe they are stronger. I don't know.
They didn't skip leg day, man. Yeah. So actually, I have a question, a little bit off topic. Have you been watching Young Justice? We're kind of just shooting the shit right now.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I like it. It's going on pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, so I haven't like super. Well, I mean, I've watched every episode. I've saw the latest one is there's a new episode tonight that I'm gonna watch after this, and I really like kind of, and this is kind of, I wish DC is able to bring their characters to the big screen in this way, like the complexity of them. I really like the concept of Naboo, right, as Dr. Fate. Now, Dr. Fate's going to be in not Flash, the Black Adam, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really like this Naboo incarnation, right? Version of it, right? I think it makes sense. And then kind of them having that connection to Vandal Savage.
Yeah, I did like the way they were.
I really like that. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I still think Justice League Unlimited is still by far like one of the best written cartoons of all time. But this is actually kind of it's really really impressive. And they kind of they showed it a little bit in the previous season, right? When they showed how Vandal Savage fought off Darkseid initially, right?
Right.
And it showed
so like he might not be as bad as you thought. He's doing a lot, man.
Yeah, I mean, Vandal Savage, his goal is like to have it out with Darkseid and win eventually, right? So he says he has these plans that are just years and years and years into the future. But yeah, I mean, we shall see. We shall see. So
I'll tell you what else I watched too, man.
What else?
You're gonna laugh.
Probably.
So so I'm on YouTube and I see a Matrix Resurrections ending discussion video.
Okay.
And I was like, again, my favorite franchise, I'm into the story, right? So I hit play, and the way this dude explained it made me want to watch the movie again. I was like, maybe I should give it another chance, because he pointed out a lot of stuff that on that first viewing I didn't get, and I think that's one of the things I like about the Matrix movies anyway. Like, you gotta watch it more than once. You have to, to get it all. Fair enough, right? And I would say I think you should watch it again, man.
Oh,
I think you should watch it again. I still wish they gave us more, but I also feel like this story is kind of like the end for it too. Because at the end, Neo and Trinity have the power of the one that can remake the Matrix any way they see fit. The analyst is dead. The architect is dead.
I don't think he's dead. The analyst, I don't think the analyst is dead, right?
Well, I'm sorry, he's not dead, but they have like the same, they have control over the Matrix pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty much the end, because if you have control over the Matrix, then technically you have control over the machine's energy source, right?
Maybe.
So I feel like this is kind of like a cap to the whole thing. But he said some stuff that was like really interesting to me. He was talking about like the character bugs actually being a bug in the modal that Neo was trapped in, because the modal You're a software guy, but you know
Okay.
the modal that Neo was trapped in was basically him just like it's looping through the same program, and what makes it harder for anyone to find him. One, they gave him a new face, but then any flashbacks that he had is based on the video game that he made, right? And Bugs happens to be a character in the modal, but as she's watching it, being the bug, she doesn't just see the way things are supposed to play out according to the program. She sees the flashbacks too. So it causes issues, right? And then when she meets Neo, again, further, that makes the problem like worse or whatever. So when he was saying some of this stuff, like I was just like, damn, I should go back and rewatch some of this stuff, man.
Yeah, you might need to like send me this video. Because I have some comments on that, because when I think of a bug, right, I think of a bug within that application, within that program, right? But Bugs is a character that is outside of the Matrix, right? Right. You can't be a software bug if you're outside the Matrix. So I mean, I don't know. I have to look at the video in more.
Yeah, I mean, the way he explained it, it was kind of like he made a comparison to Inception, where it was like a dream within a dream, right? And then he was even talking about, like, when we talk about the red and the blue pills during the machine civil war, there was a group of blue machines and a group of red machines. I was like, oh. So I'm gonna have to rewatch it. I rewatch it.
Didn't catch that part. Okay.
Me neither. I'm just like, Civil War for what?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see the red and blue machines. I mean, you did see a lot of red and blue kind of just colors all over the place.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't green this time.
One thing I thought was blue. I mean, one thing I thought was interesting was Bugs' hair was blue when she was in the Matrix, which is interesting. I have no the idea if that means anything like at all. But
yeah.
I remember noticing that, because I definitely remember noticing the analyst. Obviously, I mean, they didn't hide this. I mean, they weren't trying to hide this, right? He had blue glasses. He was drinking blue bills and all that stuff. So they were pretty much into that. I still have questions on like how Smith is alive and all that stuff, and why would they keep him so close, and all the weirdness there.
Because I think part of it is him and Neo had that connection. I guess they're connected programs or whatever. They rewrote Smith too, right? But then Neo had to still write Smith into the video game.
Okay, so that's a good point. They reinserted Neo back into the Matrix to I guess. Let me rewatch and kind of figure that out.
He's got part of the source programming. He has to be in there for the shit.
Yeah, I mean, so from my understanding, what Neo is a result of an equation, right?
Yeah. That
they try to get rid of, and
the anomaly.
Smith is kind of the anomaly that balances that equation out. So that makes sense, right? So accordingly, now if Neo and Trinity, right, are now both the ones, would Smith also have an extra person too, or not? How does that work? I don't know. I mean, one of the things that kind of made it hard to take that movie so seriously was the beginning parts where they're so clearly bagging on Warner Brothers, right, about the game and like wanting to make a fourth one, and like I can't believe they made a game out of this, and clearly the director was kind of venting. And I read an article on how it's true that
it was going to happen.
It was going to happen. Yeah, with or without her. So she kind of just did it and kind of vented a little bit of frustration on part of it. So I'm sure they'll try to make some more out of it. Again, they'll continue the series. I would like for them to kind of explore new characters, right? Again, I didn't see the sacrifice that you saw in Matrix 1, right? Where in the first Matrix, like a lot of people die, right? Versus this Matrix, essentially nobody dies, right? Nobody dies, or no dies. So there's no real no real sacrifice there. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm not sure. Did we talk about the Batman trailer, by the way? I feel like we did.
Man, that movie is looking better and better, man.
It looks good. I think we talked about it, but I don't mind talking about it again. Actually, well, I'm not gonna pull an Omar and like try to break down the trailer in front of everyone.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not do that for a trailer. maybe for a movie. I was looking at like these trailer breakdowns for the Batman. I was like, oh, should we do that? I'm like, yeah. that's a bit much. But yeah. No, I mean, what else you got? I mean, tonight's episode is gonna be a little short and sweet.
Yeah.
We didn't have
yeah.
A lot of
Cowboy Bebop was trash. One thing
you know what? I won't argue against you. I'm really not. I will say this: watch the anime. And the anime is really good.
I'm trying to.
Well, it's a very classic
anime. I mean, how many seasons is the anime?
It's only one season. It's short.
Right.
It's 26 episodes, 30 minutes per episode. Right. It's not.
I might check it out.
Yeah, it's definitely not. It's not a huge investment. A lot of the stories are they have their own stories and a little interjected. What Cowboy Bebop tried to do in that series was try to I appreciated that they didn't try to make it like the anime, right? So I appreciated that. I appreciated the try to, even though they took a lot of music from the anime, they still added some of their own music a little bit too. I only watched like 4 episodes of the new series. So I appreciate they tried to do a little bit differently. I do question just some of like the choices that they decided to make right with it, right? It didn't just jive that well with me. But
I mean, I can understand it. Like, if you're a big fan of the anime and you didn't like the show, because I mean, you know the source material. I'm somebody who never even saw the anime either, and tried to watch it. I was like, oh, maybe this will help me watch the anime.
Yeah. No, I mean,
it was horrible.
And I feel like this. I feel like if you watched the anime, then maybe you would have had some appreciation of the live action a little bit more, simply because, oh, that was in the anime, or they're trying to do this, or you see what they're trying to do with it, right? But like, as by itself, I can totally see that. I could totally see like someone just not watching and just being like, yeah, this sucks. Like, what the hell, right? I think they kind of missed it a little bit too, because in the anime, one of the things that they try to like do more of is, so there's one episode of the anime which I thought was great, and it kind of shows kind of the style of what they were going through a little bit with the show. Was they kind of had an ode to blaxploitation characters. So Kofi, Shaft. There was an episode in the anime where they had Kofi, and that's Pam Grier's character, and Shaft, right? And they were kind of like in that episode. It was pretty much an episode of a bunch of Black characters, which I thought was like great. And that was a style that they kind of had throughout the series a little bit, that they kind of dropped. They missed it a little bit in I think the live action, right? Because maybe they're trying to fill some of the plot holes of like the anime or whatnot, and yeah, it just wasn't that great. Unfortunately, I would have watched it all the way to the end, but as soon as I found out that it was canceled, I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't have.
I think I did 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But I will tell you what's good.
What?
That I just watched season 4 of. Actually, I have 2 shows to mention. I just finished season 4 of Cobra Kai.
Really? So I have not watched Cobra Kai. I've heard a lot of good things about Cobra Kai, though.
Cobra Kai is an excellent show.
Okay.
Excellent show. I feel like even sometimes some of the fight scenes are a little but these are people who, I mean, this is, you're not going to get like Jackie Chan or you know, those type of people, or Scott Adkins or something. So these are like karate students, right? So I'm you know, the fight scenes are what I would expect, right? But let me tell you, the final the championship bout for season 4, they went at it, and it was good. And somebody and the writers did a good job. There's one character whose character arc is really, really good this series. And in episode 4, I think he just reached like his climax. Like, this dude went through it and has come out the other side. Like I like this dude now. I used to hate his character, right? But they did a great job with him. The person who won the championship was, the way the writers did it, amazing, phenomenal job. Like, I'm down with it. And they're bringing back all the throwback people too. I mean, you got the guy who was running Cobra Kai.
Yeah. Back
in the day, originally, John Kreese, they brought him back. Yeah. Now they even brought back his partner for season 4. Remember like the dude with the ponytail?
His partner?
I forget. Yeah, his partner, yeah.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, they brought him back this season too, and that dude's a monster, man.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'm gonna have to check this one out.
Definitely good, man.
Yeah, so Cobra Kai was a series. I think it was on YouTube.
It was on YouTube
Premium, and then Netflix like took it out and like took over it, and it turned out being.
I was hooked on the first season. Like, it was that good. Good. The other show is Wheel of Time.
What?
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time?
It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay. What is that one about?
So it's got some fantasy elements to it. It's like Game of Thrones, like later in the seasons, because it's a lot more fantasy based. It's basically like there is a I forget what they call him. I think they call him like the dragon or something like that, or the one or something. But this person like had all this magic power and it corrupted them, right? And so every so often that person gets reborn, and there's like a group of women because of that guy, they only let women use magical powers now, right? And so every so often, this person will be reborn and try to go stop it. So it's a lot. Like, it's based on these books or whatever. And season 1 just wrapped, so I'm still like trying to understand like what all everything is. But it's good. I'm fooling with it. Like, It's a good one, man. It's on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. What's it called again?
Wheel of Time.
Wheel in Time. Okay. Yeah. I've been more trying to read, so being a little bit of a nerd.
I just started a new book too.
Yeah. I bought like Obama's book last year, and I've been really trying to get through it. It's a long book, The Promised Land. I know he's coming out with another one soon. But yeah, right now I'm in the part where he's talking about like, because he just got elected, he's about to be sworn in. And he's trying to talk to his economic team about like what to do about the very massive
debt.
Well, the depression that we were in 2008, right?
2008. So, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty good read. Other books. Yeah, we gotta talk about books that we're reading. We can do an episode about that.
We can do that. I got 2 books I can talk about right now, actually.
Yeah,
we can.
Do a couple books and stuff like that. So yeah, that's cool. All right. You got anything else? Started a little late today.
No.
No
promo.
Didn't do any promo today.
We just drop them sometimes, man. Huh? We just drop them. Y'all have to watch the channels. We just drop them. Drop episodes.
I don't think we're that popular to just drop them yet.
we drop at midnight like Beyonce and them.
Yeah, we're definitely not that popular. Yeah. No. We got to figure out what we're going to talk about next week. I think there are going to be some episodes. There are going to be some things coming out on Disney. I don't know what's coming out this month. I know Eternals is coming out. We never watched that movie. I didn't I didn't go to theaters because I heard it sucked.
January 12th. Yeah, we can do that because I'm
Eternals.
definitely gonna watch it when it comes on.
Yeah, we'll watch Eternals and see what it's about and see if it's as bad as
Oh,
people
they're
say.
gonna be trying to hit you for like 30 to watch that joint, right?
No,
It's
no, it's
Disney,
coming
right?
out. No. It's already. I don't think they're gonna do that anymore. To be honest with you, especially after Spider-Man, like that making clearing $1 billion. I don't think they're gonna.
Because they made $1 billion real quick, recovered for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, no, they
Go
did.
ahead. Give them.
But no, but remember what happened, right? So with Black Widow, right? They did the early premiere release, right, of that, right? And she ended up suing them because her salary is a lot based on box office sales. And like I was one of those people that didn't go to the theaters to watch it, which I probably should have because I don't think it was worth the $30. I mean, it was still a pretty good like movie, but not $30 good.
Yeah.
But after that, they didn't do that with Shang-Chi, like at all, right? That was just in theaters. There's no pre-premiere $30 release, right? And that did pretty well. And then of course, Eternals, actually, I think Eternals did pretty well too in the box office, but like Spider-Man freaking just
But
blew
it's a good
everything
movie. It's better than
away.
everything that you just named. Spider-Man is better. It's a better film.
I mean, I will say this too. It looks like Andrew Garfield is going to come back as Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man 3.
I've been hearing Amazing Spider-Man 3.
I'll be for it because I really liked him as Spider-Man. He wasn't the best, but he wasn't bad. By no means was he bad. So I'm excited to see.
I think the movies were bad.
That one. Huh?
The movies were bad.
I thought the movies were right. I thought the second movie was bad. I thought the first movie was like the bad guy at the end was like, I'm gonna turn everyone to lizards. Like, why? It's a good point. Yeah, it wasn't that great. But yeah, I was actually watching Spider-Man, the original animated, well, not the original, but like the 90s animated series.
I was watching some clips of that.
That
was good, man.
That was a good series. It was a good series. I was watching one of my favorite parts. I usually watch like the last season, the Secret Wars part of it, right? At the very end, where the Beyonder and Madam Web brings him into some alternate reality, and he tries to like lead the forces of good against the forces of like evil and whatnot. And yeah, it's turns out
that one was complicated. Here's two takes on Spider-Man real quick. Mm-hmm. One, I sincerely hope that they do not do the Clone Saga. Like, that was one storyline I did not enjoy.
Yeah.
Somebody like cloned them, and then for a while there was like two Spider-Man. You had like Ben Reilly was his clone. There was like all this crazy stuff going on. I wasn't feeling it. Secondly, I think that they need to bring in Kraven the Hunter. That's a bad dude.
So Kraven the Hunter, there is a movie going to be out for him. They're gonna the guy who played Quicksilver is going to be Kraven the Hunter.
What?
Yeah. So Aaron Taylor, I think he was in the first Godzilla movie, right?
He was already no.
He was in the first Godzilla movie, and he was also
who he is.
WandaVision's
he played Quicksilver.
Quicksilver, yeah. So I see his face. Let me get his name.
Wait. If you're talking about are you talking about WandaVision Quicksilver or Avengers
Ultron? I'm talking about
Avengers Ultron Quicksilver.
Ultron Quicksilver, that guy.
No.
Yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson is his name. He is playing Kraven the Hunter.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's happening.
Is this for which one? Is it for Amazing Spider-Man 3 or something?
I think it's his own movie. So I think I'm telling you, Sony's trying to start their own Sonyverse of this, and I don't think it's going to be that great, unfortunately. I have not watched any of the Venom movies because I think Venom without Spider-Man makes no sense. But I heard the last Venom was actually pretty decent, so I might go watch that. But
I think the first Venom movie was better than the second one.
Really?
But I need to rewatch the second one. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, yeah. So in 2018, announced development of Kraven the Hunter as part of the SSU. Oh, so I guess the SSU is going to be Sony's.
No, I think you might have some old information, man. Because I think they were about to do that with the Amazing Spider-Man universe, and then it didn't happen, right? Because that was
Well,
with
no. So
whatchamacallit.
continuing reading, just a little bit later in 2020, studio hired JC Chandler to direct and Art Markram and Matt Holloway to rewrite the script. In May 2021, it was confirmed that Aaron Taylor Johnson, that guy, will portray the character, and the film is scheduled to be released on January 13, 2023. So next year, around this time, you will see a Kraven the Hunter movie with Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Horrible casting. Horrible casting.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't know. I like Aaron Taylor Johnson as a character himself. I thought he did well as
he's a good actor. I don't have a problem with him personally. I don't think he embodies that character though. No.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We will see if he is in it.
I'm looking for a more like grizzled, rough around the edges type dude to play Kraven the Hunter.
Dude. So apparently he was in Spider-Man No Way Home. According to Wikipedia, and Wikipedia never lies.
Excuse me.
No. I mean, clearly a joke, but look,
CGI likeness only.
CGI like this, yeah, which is interesting. So there is a.
You know what that means. You know what that means. He was one of the characters that almost came in from the universe.
Yes,
you could probably see him in the sky.
Yes, exactly.
You know,
there are
I
a
saw
number
the
of
rhino.
characters that was there. Yeah, there are a number of characters that was gonna come in, which again suggests that he knows who Spider-Man is. I guess not anymore because of the spell. That's his own thing that we can discuss later. But
I say, yeah, he's a little too. I'm not feeling that casting. I gotta be. Usually, I don't speak up about these things, man.
But okay, how about this? Robert Pattinson. We were making fun of him about Batman, him being Batman, right? And he eventually he looks like he's going to be a really good Batman.
We gotta watch the movie.
So I mean, I think this guy will do well as Kraven Hunter, if they just do it right. I mean, I think he can pull it off. This is how he looks like.
In the comics, he's usually. I mean, to me, he at least
he's a little grizzled here, right?
From what I've seen, he looks a little older.
Right? It's a little grizzled. So he might be able to pull it off. We'll see. Throw some CGI on him. He'll work out. Get some muscles going. Same guy who played Kick-Ass, by the way.
Classic movies. I might go watch that this weekend.
Yeah, same guy who played Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass 1 was great. Kick-Ass 2,
No, I thought they were both good. Actually, I might have the girls dress up as Hit Girl just because you said that too.
Really?
Hit Girl costume. Oh yeah, love that. I love that.
Okay, cool.
They like being superheroes anyway. So
I probably will not be in lockdown for this Halloween, so I don't know who I'm going to go in as. I might go in as Miles Morales Spider-Man, or
you're too old.
Okay, I guess I'll go Captain America, Falcon Captain America then. I'm too old.
Facts is facts. Yeah. Too old. Right.
I'll be Captain Falcon Captain America then for Halloween then. We'll see. I don't know. I might still do Spider-Man. I'm young inside. I'll have a mask.
It's funny that story that reminds me. Every time I think about that, it reminds me I was in like a real deal like costume shop like a few years ago, right? And I saw the Spider-Man costume, and my wife was like, "No." She was like, "There's going to be too much going on in this area here. Like, it's going to be too tight." No. I don't need everybody staring at
it. She like
can't have any fun.
She's like I was gonna make a joke about that, but I'm not gonna do it.
She got serious real quick, but she was just like, no.
That's a negative on that. Oh my god, that's
man.
so funny. Okay.
Yeah, before we wrap, my Eagles have clinched the playoffs.
Congratulations. My team.
How your Saints?
How the Saints? You know what? We lost. We had our GOAT. Well, no, he's not the GOAT, but like our Drew Brees retired last year. Jameis Winston hurt his leg. Broke his leg. They're struggling right now. They're on the outside looking in. They're gonna need some help getting the playoffs.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping Aaron Rodgers might like leave Green Bay to come to like the Saints, even though he's unvaccinated. So I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, hopefully they can get a quarterback.
My only fear right now is that because I'm not expecting us to do a lot. I'm just glad we made it. My thing is us being competitive. I don't want to be like the Redskins. I don't want to be like the Giants. I don't want to be like the Cowboys for the last 20 some odd years either. Right? But I can't talk too much about the Cowboys because they have been doing a shitty job.
Well, no,
but they have won the division.
They have a losing record against teams that with winning records, right?
Yeah,
like they have a losing record against teams with winning records. So, like,
I just hope that we don't play the Bucs in that first round. I was reading that there was a chance we could play the Rams. I was like, okay, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Because Matt Stafford, former Lion, you probably take that out, right? Bucs.
Matt Stafford's pretty good. I mean, even though he didn't play well the last couple of games, but he's pretty solid.
So, yeah. But then again, we have beaten the GOAT for the chip. So, you never know. We might be a
liking your boy Jalen Hurts. So apparently, did you see that the stands almost fell on him?
I think that was rigged. Totally rigged.
Right, stands almost fell on him. He sent a letter to the Washington football team. Like, well, what the dick, right? Like, you guys gotta do better, right? And they do. So, no. But it looks like your coach kind of came through because he was looking kind of spotty.
Well, his first few weeks of the season were rough, man. I'll tell you that. But they've been turning around a little bit. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in them, but they found their game. Yeah. Now, right? They have an identity now. Yeah. So
I'm also really happy for Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts won a national championship with Alabama, right? And then was benched, right, for Tua Tagovailoa, right?
Who?
Tua Tagovailoa. I messed that name up. Tua Tagovailoa.
Better than the first one.
Yeah, I messed that one up. Tua Tagovailoa. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, and he eventually went to whatchamacallit?
Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma. Right. Yeah. Got them to like the playoffs. They got the pants beat off him by LSU. But he gets drafted and like he's kind of doing this thing. So I'm super happy for him, right? Because he was never like that great of a passer. But I mean, I think he's doing a good job. And I mean, I think they're working with him, right?
He was somebody that he needed to like sit and learn really his rookie year.
Yeah.
Or maybe the first 2 years, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think they put him out there his first year. Right? Yeah. I think first year, because I think they were.
I think the last I forget how many games or whatever, but he just needed a little bit more time. But
yeah,
he's doing all right. That's not. But they were talking so bad about him, but that's not somebody that you can just. Everybody can't just be thrown out there and be like, "Yo, throw it 30 times a game," right? Or 40 times a game or whatever. Like you gotta let him find.
He's not Patrick Mahomes. He has to do his own thing.
His game. Right? You gotta let him find his way. You gotta let him mature in the game a little bit. So I think he's doing that. And he's somebody that as long as if you have a run game, that means you have to respect it. So then he can make some bad plays, right? Because we got to get some receivers too, because he's throwing good balls. These boys is dropping them.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, congratulations. It's been a while since the Eagles made it, so I'll give you that. So you guys won a championship more recent too. So yeah.
2017. Yeah.
Saints haven't won a championship since like what? God knows when.
The Saints? Yeah.
Oh, it's a little past 05, like 010 Saints championship. When the Saints won the championship? It was after Katrina for sure. I have to look up exactly what year the Saints won the championship. 2010. Okay. Yeah. It's a good year. Okay.
Bet it was.
It was a great year. I was there. I mean, I remember the paper bags. I remember Aaron Brooks when we had him as a quarterback, and he would throw an interception and just laugh it off because he was paid like a lot of money. He'll be like, interception. I'm rich anyway. So, yeah. What about your boy Cam Newton? Thought it was gonna.
We need to talk about AB.
Oh God! Oh, why? This should have been our first thing that we should talk about.
I know.
Do you kind of want to save this for like next week's episode, though, or do you want to talk about this?
We can save it. We can save it because it's been like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's been an hour and a half. It's not anyone's watching anyway right now, so yeah, let's let that go. I'm sure there's gonna be more AB like shit to talk about like next week because the guy's a mess.
Then meme, I might just throw out one of the memes as the image for this video. Anyway, the memes have been hilarious.
Yes. Oh God, this guy, this dude. Okay. Well, let me go ahead. Let's go ahead and let the team go. Thank you guys for watching. Much appreciated. And we're gonna do some promo next time. We'll let you guys know when we're dropping. All right, see you guys later.